Hey everybody, Dr. Rob here. Do me a favor. You're going to love today, Monday, of course. We're going to talk about body composition the day before the 4th of July. Share this with all your friends. Hit me with a like. Let's get 50 shares going on this stuff. We're at the midpoint of your year. It should all now be starting to percolate. It's summertime. Everybody's going to be at their barbecue wearing a bathing suit. So let's talk about the difference between weight and body composition. There's a distinctive difference. I happen to use the InBody 570. To me, without question, it's the leader in how to analyze body composition and segmental body fat and segmental muscle within your body, which is a key component. Get rid of your scale, push it away. Do not do anything by the scale. The mirror is even better than the scale. So I'm going to give you 4 reasons why I like the InBody 570. Number 1, it's an 8-point tactile electrodes. So essentially you stand on it with 2 feet, obviously. It's 2 points per foot, that's 4, and you hold it with your arms down, can't move. So you're holding it in 2 spots, your thumb and your palm. That gives you 8 points. It's got both upper and lower, left and right. When you compare it to the ones where you're holding your hands, you're only testing your upper body. When you stand on the Tanita and those other ones for the scale, you're only testing your lower body. Here you're testing your upper, lower, left, and right. So you're getting a full analyzation. It sends an electrical charge, small little charge, through your body. It's within 2% of the gold standard. Actually, I should stand corrected. It has now been tested to be within 1/10 of a point of the gold standard. The other reason, it has multiple high frequencies. These multiple high frequencies enable that charge to get through all people's cell membranes and give you that true accuracy. It also is enabling you to get feedback on your body water, your intra and extracellular water. So intracellular water is a key component. We're all made up of cells. The more water we have in the cell, the healthier we are. The more water we have outside the cell, the more toxins we have, the more failing health we have, the more that we age. It has been postulated that the first sign of failing health is the loss of water from inside the cell to outside the cell. Direct segmental measurements. It gives me all your limbs, your left and right arm clearly, your left and right leg, and your whole trunk. Tough weekend for me, right, John? And I don't even drink. Your whole trunk. That trunk really speaks to this whole body, part of your body right over here. And finally, maybe for me, the biggest takeaway at my advanced age, no empirical estimates. Every other test that you take is based on an equation with your age. So 51, if I get on and it says I'm 12%, if I make myself 21 in the next minute, it's 7%. Same person. Because the equation, once again, has your age. This one doesn't. It's purely who you are based on your lean mass. So all you people who want that are 35 and older, up to 60, 65, who want their true body mass, their true body fat, really where you are, not getting chipped because you just happen to have a little different age on your driver's license, this is the test you want. And all the young people who think they're a little leaner than they are, you want to know where you are. You want that reflection in the mirror. You want that baseline. So these are 4 of the early reasons why I like it. In addition, what does it show you? There we go. The results or the interpretation. Number 1, body composition analyzation. It's going to tell me your body composition, how many pounds of fat you have, how many pounds of muscle you have in comparison to your body weight. If I had my fat model, 5 pounds of fat is about this big. Man, when I show my patients that and they say 5 pounds, they want to start losing it. When I tell them they have 14 of these throughout their body, they lose their water, if you will. So it gives a great answer for body composition in a ratio, muscle fat ratio in overall body weight. Number 2, muscle fat analyzation. What it does is it really shows me that not only the area of your composition, but it breaks down once again the muscle to fat and fat to muscle. Like when you're breaking these 2 up, this is muscle to fat, and this body composition is actually telling me intracellular water, extracellular water, minerals and protein, and the like. So really breaking everything down, and this is telling me muscle to fat. Obesity analyzation. With that body fat, well, it shows me your BMI, which I'm not a big proponent of. Your BMI is your height times your weight. Antiquated, because if you took Arnold Schwarzenegger in his heyday at 6'2", 235, 240, his BMI would be through the roof and his body fat was really low. And then you could have the proverbial skinny fat guy at 6'2", 175, but he has a belly. His BMI would be great, but his body fat would be too high. So we'll analyze your obesity level and we'll tell us really where you are within your percentage of body fat. Segmental lean analysis. Interesting that it's going to tell me my left versus my right arm in muscle. It's going to tell me my left versus right arm in fat. And it's going to tell me my left versus my right arm in percentage to my body weight and where I should go. So it segmentally breaks down my fat and my muscle. Body weight analysis. Some of the bigger problems we have here in America is most people are dehydrated. So within that dehydration, once again, like I said earlier, it's going to tell us the difference between your intracellular and your extracellular water in a ratio. So basically you see more people who are dehydrated don't perform as well, don't absorb as well. One of the key components is to get more hydrated. We did a Facebook Live on that, and that Facebook Live really spoke to half your body weight in ounces before exercise. Body composition history. Well, it's really telling you over the duration of time that I've been testing you, or you've been tested, where you were and where you are now. So it shows a graphic representation of hopefully how you're improving, or unfortunately how you may be pointing towards a slight physical demise. It's a graphic representation to remind you where you were and where you are today. Segmental fat analysis, I kind of told you about that with the segmental lean analysis, showing me where your fat is, what your percentage of fat in your left versus right arm. So interesting in muscle, you can be very upper body. A lot of guys go to the gym, they lift their upper body, they forget about their legs. So they're too upper body laden, or the reverse can be true. Sometimes women have a little bit more muscle mass in their lower body. You want to be segmentally not only distributed between proper muscle and fat, but you want to be segmentally distributed from left to right side. I can't tell you how many times I've seen an asymmetry between the left and right side, and I'll go to a patient and say, by the way, you're right-legged, and they'll go, that's right. Even though I'm left-handed, I'm right-legged. So that becomes apparent, and it's something to work on so we have a balanced, healthy body. In addition, basic metabolic rate. Basic metabolic rate is how many calories you're burning at rest. Basic metabolic rate is a key component. As you all know, I'm not a calorie guy, but I want to see that basic metabolic rate increase through the time that we're working. I want you to be more efficient at burning calories, because the more calories you can burn, the more nutrients I can get in with your food. And in an upcoming Facebook Live, we're going to talk about how a calorie is in a calorie, and we're going to go through all the different ratios and rates. Visceral fat. Probably the most important thing that I like within this interpretation segment. There's two types of fat that we can break down: subcutaneous and visceral. Subcutaneous is that pinch and inch. You got to lose that little flab, that spare tire, a little too much here. Visceral fat is what it says. It's fat that's over your viscera. It's over your organs, your pancreas, your heart, your liver, etc. That fat shouldn't be there. That fat is very deleterious to your health, because if it's over the organs for a period of time, it infiltrates the organs. So think about fat that gets in the liver, fatty liver. Think about fat that gets in the pancreas. You're going to have diabetes. Think you get fat in the heart attack, hardening of the arteries, things like that. The visceral fat is your worst fat. You want to keep that visceral fat down. Only test I know that gives a visceral fat. Now what's interesting, if you compare and contrast subcutaneous fat and visceral fat. So if I wanted to lean John out even more than he is, and he's quite lean, and I wanted him to get rid of that subcutaneous fat, I'd make him do some burpees. And if he did some burpees and ran around the block, he could burn it. Whereas the visceral fat, 80% of visceral fat is burned metabolically, not from exercise. And that's a key component. You'll see people come in and they'll thin down a little bit because they just went crazy with exercise, and then they stop, but they didn't help their visceral fat, which is the key component to your health. When you have visceral fat, and the visceral fat innervates your organs, they call that lipotoxicity. Lipo, fat, toxicity, toxic to specific organs. So don't go by the scale. Come see me, or somebody that has an InBody that understands what this interpretation is and has solutions that are individualized and personalized for you. John, we have any questions on this?
How long does it take to get scanned and how fast do you get the results?
The scan takes literally 1 minute. 1 minute. And there's a printout. It takes about 20 seconds. So you're looking at a minute to a minute and 20, and we get the printout. Then we interpret it. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes sitting down with you to interpret what the numbers mean. And then, of course, we have to individualize and personalize that for you.
And how often do you think someone should be on the InBody?
I think every 4 to 8 weeks, if you're on a plan, you should retest. Not every week. Every 4 to 8 weeks is a great test. Now, there's a lot of gyms out there that have it. They hand it to you, but they really have to break it down and they have to offer you a solution, not just exercise, but a proper diet. Once again, that's proper for you.
And where can people find you?
Everybody, you can find me Facebook Live. You guys got it, Dr. Robert Silverman. My website is drrobertsilverman.com. Please, if you like it, hit that like. Press that button and share this. Let's start getting everybody healthy. Dr. Rob, always yours in health.